大家好，欢迎回到我们的频道。今天我们要聊一个很多人都想知道的话题 ，Nvidia 是如何在技术世界中取得巨大成功的。你可能知道 Nvidia 是由华人黄仁勋创立的，而他不仅仅是一个企业家，更是一个有着独到见解和哲学的领导者。那么，让我们一起探索 Nvidia 成功的秘密吧。首先，回到8年前的一个标志性时刻，黄仁勋亲手向 OpenAI 交付了 Nvidia 制造的第一个专注于 AI 的 GPU， 这不仅标志着英特尔统治地位的结束，也预示着 Nvidia 即将崛起。你可能会问 ，Nvidia 是如何做到的呢？答案在于他们坚持的4大核心价值观。让我们一起来看看价值观1：期望低，但标准高。黄仁勋认为，适应能力强的人，并不是那些期望值非常高的人，而是那些能从失败中学习，从磨难中获得韧性的人。这意味着，我们应该将高期望转化为对目标的承诺，并接受痛苦是成功过程的一部分。价值观2：没有任何任务配不上你。这里，黄仁勋鼓励我们拥抱每一个挑战，因为这正是内在动力和力量的来源。这也促成了一个扁平化的组织结构，让每个人都感到自己受到重视，共同参与其中。价值观3：正确构建你的公司。黄仁勋避免一刀切的管理方法，而是根据各部门的具体需求和职能来创建独特的结构。他更喜欢小组讨论，而不是1对1会议，确保信息的流通和质疑的自由。价值观4：公司的环境就是产品。这是黄仁勋对企业文化的理解。他认为，权力来自于解决复杂问题的能力，而不是信息的控制。开放式沟通和对大局的理解是员工投入的关键。最后，当 Nvidia 的股价达到100美元时，黄仁勋将 Nvidia 的标志纹在了自己的手臂上。这不仅是对自己公司的信任和承诺，也是一种对比较的超越。通过黄仁勋的领导，Nvidia 展示了如何通过坚持核心价值观而实现成功。这些教训不仅是用于技术领域，也适用于我们每个人的生活和职业发展中。接下来，我们看看老黄的历史原始视频。
I think one of my great advantages is that I have very low expectations, and I mean that. Most of the Stanford graduates have very high expectations. You deserve to have high expectations because you came from a great school. You were very successful. You're at the top of your class. Obviously, you were able to pay for tuition. And then you're graduating from one of the finest institutions on the planet. You're surrounded by other kids that are just incredible. You naturally have very high expectations. People with very high expectations have very low resilience. And unfortunately, resilience matters in success. I don't know how to teach it to you except for I hope suffering happens to you. And I was fortunate that I grew up with my parents providing a condition for us to be successful on the one hand, but there were plenty of opportunities for setbacks and suffering. And to this day, I use the phrase pain and suffering inside our company with great glee. And I mean that. Boy, this is going to cause a lot of pain and suffering. And I mean that in a happy way, because you want to refine the character of your company. You want greatness out of them. And greatness is not intelligence. Greatness comes from character, and character is informed out of smart people. It's formed out of people who suffered. And so that's it. And so if I could wish upon you, I don't know how to do it. For all of you Stanford students, I wish upon you ample doses of pain and suffering. No task to me, no task is beneath me, because remember, I used to be a dishwasher, and I mean that. I used to clean toilets. I mean, I cleaned a lot of toilets. I've cleaned more toilets than all of you combined. and some of them just can't unseat. I don't know what to tell you. That's life. And so you can't show me a task that's beneath me. Now I'm not doing it only because of whether it's beneath me or not beneath me. If you send me something and you want my input on it, and I can be of service to you, and in my review of it, share with you how I reasoned through it, I've made a contribution to you. I've made it possible for you to see how I reason through something, and by reasoning, as you know, how someone reasons through something empowers you. You go, oh my gosh, that's how you reason through something like this. It's not as complicated. The organizations of the past where there's a king, CEO, and then you have all these, the royal subjects, the royal court, and then e-staff, and then you keep working your way down. Eventually, they're employees. Well, the reason why it was designed that way is because they wanted the employees to have as little information as possible, because their fundamental purpose of the soldiers is to die in the field of battle. To die without asking questions. You guys know this. I only have 30,000 employees. I would like none of them to die. I would like them to question everything. Does that make sense? And so the way you organized in the past and the way you organize today is very different. Second, the question is, what does NVIDIA build? An organization is designed so that we could build whatever it is we build better. And so if we all build different things, why are we organized the same way? Why would this organizational machinery be exactly the same, irrespective of what you build? It doesn't make any sense. You build computers, you organize this way. You build healthcare services, you build exactly the same way. It makes no sense whatsoever. And so you have to go back to first principles. Just ask yourself, what kind of machinery? What is the input? What is the output? What are the properties of this environment? What is the forest that this animal has to live in? What are its characteristics? Is it stable most of the time? You're trying to squeeze out the last drop of water? Or is it changing all the time, being attacked by everybody? And so you got to understand, you're the CEO, your job is to architect this company. That's my first job, to create the conditions by which you can do your life's work. And the architecture has to be right. And so you have to go back to first principles and think about those things. And I was fortunate that when I was 29 years old, I had the benefit of taking a step back and asking myself, how would I build this company for the future, and what would it look like? And what's the operating system, which is called culture? What kind of behavior do we encourage, enhance, and what do we discourage and not enhance? So on and so forth. And I don't believe in a culture and environment where the information that you possess is the reason why you have power. I would like us all to contribute to the company, and our position in the company should have something to do with our ability to reason through complicated things, lead other people to achieve greatness, inspire, empower other people, support other people. Those are the reasons why the management team exists, in service of all of the other people that work in the company, to create the conditions by which all of these amazing people who volunteer to come work for you instead of all of the other amazing high-tech companies around the world, they volunteer to work for you. And so you should create the conditions by which they could do their life's work, which is my mission. You probably heard it. I've said that pretty clearly, and I believe that. What my job is very simply to create the conditions by which you could do your life's work. And so how do I do that? What does that condition look like? Well, that condition should result in a great deal of empowerment. You can only be empowered if you understand the circumstance, isn't that right? You have to understand the context.
如果你对今天的内容感到启发，别忘了点赞、评论和分享更多精彩内容。记得关注我们的频道和社交媒体账号。我们下期视频见。